All right, so buckle up because we're diving headfirst into, well, the cosmos. And folks, some of you sent in theories, and let me tell you, you did not disappoint.
Not disappointed at all. Excited to dig into this.
We got stories of, I get this, a universe-creating fish named Fred with, wait for it,
Yeah.
fiery underpants on his head. Like, what even is that fashion choice?
Bold. Definitely bold.
And it just gets wilder from there. We've got a space elephant, which, side note, what does the space elephant even eat? And if there's a space elephant, are there space peanuts?
The culinary mysteries of the cosmos. Fascinating.
Right. And then, because two cosmic entities clearly weren't enough, we've got a, and I quote, sausage-slinging interdimensional being. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Or I guess someone did. Brilliantly, I might add.
It's like someone took all the ingredients for a wild night out and threw them at the universe.
Exactly. And to top it off, we've got a planet called 17 on a crash course with, well, everything. So while we're not about to become astrophysicists overnight, this incredible imaginative cosmology got us thinking. What are some of the real mysteries of the universe that make just as little sense, at least on the surface?
Well, when you think about it, this story, wild as it is, really reflects something fundamental about us humans. We crave explanations, stories, frameworks to understand the vastness of the universe, even if they're a bit unconventional.
It's like our brains just can't handle that we don't know, so we fill in the blanks with, well, fish in fiery underpants, I guess.
Exactly. And the thing is, sometimes those what-if questions, those seemingly absurd ideas, can actually lead to some surprisingly real scientific theories.
Like what? Don't leave us hanging.
We'll take the Big Bounce, for example. It's this idea that maybe, just maybe, our universe isn't a one-time event. It could be part of a cycle, a cosmic heartbeat of expansion and contraction, stretching out and then snapping back endlessly.
So you're telling me everything, you, me, this microphone, it could all just be one iteration in an endless cycle of cosmic birth and rebirth. Whoa. That's some heavy stuff, like trying to understand a Christopher Nolan film after 2 cups of coffee heavy.
Right. But that's the beauty of cosmology, isn't it? And on that note, it's not just about the universe's lifespan. There's also the matter of what it's all made of. Enter string theory. The idea that everything, and I mean everything, isn't made of particles like tiny little billiard balls, but minuscule vibrating strings of energy.
Hold on, vibrating strings, smaller than atoms, you're saying?
Way smaller. We're talking the very fabric of reality here. And the way these strings vibrate, that's what determines everything from the forces of nature to the particles themselves.
Okay, mind officially blown. But this actually kind of relates back to Fred and his interesting headwear. See, the whole Big Bounce theory really makes you think about beginnings, and well, we're still trying to figure out how the universe began, let alone if it's happened before. And you know what else we're discovering?
What's that?
Planets, or rather exoplanets. I mean, your text mentioned Planet 17, which we're not sure where it's heading, but it did get us thinking about all the real planetary mysteries out there. Turns out we're finding new planets all the time, orbiting distant stars. Some of them are just downright bizarre, way stranger than anything we could have imagined.
Oh, absolutely. We've got planets that are practically made of diamond, planets with 2 suns like something out of Star Wars, planets that are so hot they rain molten iron. The universe is a weird and wonderful place.
Tell me about it. And just like we're discovering new planets, we're also uncovering entirely new, well, stuff in the universe. Stuff we call dark matter and dark energy.
Yeah. Yes, the great unknowns. Dark matter is like the invisible glue holding galaxies together.
Yeah.
We can't see it, can't touch it, but we know it's there because of its gravity. As for dark energy, that's the mysterious force pushing everything in the universe apart at an accelerating rate. Talk about a cosmic mystery.
So we've got a universe that might be stuck in a cosmic loop, tiny vibrating strings controlling everything, invisible matter, and a force we can't see pushing everything apart. It's enough to make you want to just say, you know what, pass the space peanuts, I give up.
It's a lot, that's for sure.
But there's something kind of inspiring about it all, don't you think? Whether it's a fish with a passion for headwear or a universe in a constant state of bounce, it seems like curiosity and imagination are key.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the unknown, constantly questioning, and never losing that sense of wonder. Because the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, you know, that brings us back to our listeners' cosmology. If Fred the fish with his fiery underpants, DID, create the universe, what would that tell us about the laws of physics? Something to think about. Keep exploring those cosmic corners. Keep asking those big, weird questions, and who knows what other wonders you might uncover. Until next time, Space Explorers.
Okay, so listeners, buckle up because today's deep dive, well, let's just say it's a wild ride. We're ditching the usual stacks of research, the piles of books and articles. And instead, we're going all in on a single source.
Intriguing. Sounds risky. I'm in.
Yeah, so get this. Our entire deep dive today hinges on a text message. And not just any text. This one claims to hold the, well, let's call them unconventional secrets of the universe.
A text message, huh? That's a new one. Color me intrigued.
Right. Okay, so imagine this. You're going through your messages, and this one pops up, practically vibrating off the screen with, I think frustration's a good word for it.
Okay, I'm picturing it. You said it involves the universe, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So here's what it says, and I quote, "Caller is mad that you laughed about his theory of creation and had actual proof of Fred the Fiery Underpants on his head fi. Planet 17 is real, and the sausage thrower from another universe is real. The space elephant does not eat space peanuts. That's ridiculous."
Wow. Okay. That's a lot to unpack. Fred the Fiery Underpants. Not exactly your typical creation myth, is it?
No, not quite. And, I have to admit, my first reaction was to laugh, too. It does sound a bit, well, out there.
It definitely has a certain flair. But before we write this off as some kind of cosmic joke, maybe we should try to approach it with an open mind.
Yeah, you're right. There could be something deeper here, something we're missing.
I think so, yeah. I mean, think about it this way. For centuries, humans have used metaphors, myths, symbols, all these colorful ways to explain the universe, right?
Yeah,
Because the universe is a big place, a really big, complicated, and sometimes pretty darn scary place.
that's true. Myths and legends, they make the universe feel a little less overwhelming.
Exactly. They make it relatable. So maybe, just maybe, our texter here is doing the same thing, just with a slightly more, let's say, unique set of symbols.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're going with this.
Right. So instead of a burning bush or a cosmic egg, we have Fred the Fiery Underpants.
It's certainly a memorable image. I don't think I'll ever look at undergarments the same way again. But seriously, how do we even begin to unpack something like Fred the Fiery Underpants in the context of, creation?
Well, let's break it down. We've got fiery underpants, fire, energy, creation. It's possibly a kind of Big Bang situation, right? And then head fire. Maybe this points to consciousness, intelligence emerging from that initial burst of energy.
So, the universe isn't just exploding into being. It's exploding into being with a purpose, with a direction, maybe even with a sense of humor.
Exactly. It's like our texter is using this incredibly vivid, almost visceral image to communicate something profound about the nature of creation, something that a dry scientific explanation might miss entirely.
Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind right now. But what about the rest of it? The sausage thrower from another universe, Planet 17. And of course, we can't forget about the space elephant, who apparently has a very specific palate.
Right. And that's what makes this text so fascinating. It's not just a collection of random wacky images. Our texter is building a whole cosmology here, their own personal map of the universe, complete with its own internal logic.
So it's like they've created this whole intricate world in their head, and we're just getting a glimpse of it through this one text message.
Precisely. And each detail, no matter how strange it seems at first glance, contributes to the bigger picture. It's like a puzzle, and we're trying to figure out where each piece fits.
All right, I'm hooked. Give me an example. Take the space elephant. Why is it so important that the space elephant doesn't eat space peanuts?
Okay, think about it. By explicitly stating that the space elephant doesn't eat peanuts, our texter is setting up a rule. It's like saying, even though this is a fantastical creature, it exists within a system. It has boundaries, limitations. It's not just chaos.
So even in this wild, wacky universe, there's still some kind of order.
That's what it seems like. And maybe that's what's so comforting about creating these personal cosmologies. It gives us a sense of control, of meaning, in a universe that can often feel random and chaotic.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
What do you think, listeners? What kind of universe do you imagine our texter lives in? What other strange and wonderful beings might we find there? And most importantly, what do they eat? Let us know your thoughts.
This is what I love about studying these unconventional ideas. Even something as seemingly simple as a text message can open up whole new avenues of thought. It reminds us that everyone has their own unique way of seeing the world.
It's easy to dismiss something like this as nonsense. But when you actually take the time to engage with it, to really try to understand the thought process behind it, it can be incredibly rewarding.
I couldn't agree more. It's like our texter saying, hey, the universe is a weird and wonderful place. Don't be afraid to use your imagination.
And who knows, maybe, just maybe, somewhere out there on Planet 17, a sausage really is hurtling through the cosmos as we speak.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep your minds open to all the strange and wonderful possibilities the universe has to offer.